Hello everybody, Terrence Popp here from the Lair. Sorry I missed the October 9th episode. It was my birthday. I got myself one of these high-speed chairs. I was building that on my birthday. So there you go. Today I'm basically covering two topics. They're about the Las Vegas, craziness that went on. And I'm going to read the first question to you. It's more like a statement. Your Vegas video was way off point. There was only one shooter. There is no conspiracy, just evil whack jobs doing evil. Before you pop off at the mouth, get your facts. Okay. Well, number one, if you check the timestamp on that video, I made it the very next day when there's a lot of pandemonium going on. And, I listened and I watched the footage that was going on at the time. Now, this isn't like looking at JFK footage where you're looking in a two-dimensional image and you look like you're way removed from it and you watch him get, his JFK haircut. In today's technology, when somebody hits the record on their phone and they put that on the internet, it is so good. The quality is so good. You are there. I've been in a number of firefights. I've fired machine guns of all types, for 35 fucking years. I know what 5.56 sounds like. I know what 30 cal sounds like. I know what AK-47 sound like. It is what it is. So, number one, I made the video the next day. And one of those video clips I put up there, you can clearly hear gunfire from two different weapons at the same time, one 5.56 and one of a 30 caliber make. So unless he was shooting two guns at the same time, which I highly doubt, there you go. All right, the first salvo, when he initially opened up, it took 12 to 14 seconds. And it sounded like 5.56. A M249 machine gun that fires a 200-round belt. Now, I do not know if AR-15s have 200-round drums. I'm sure they have 100, 150 rounds, but 200 might get a little dicey. Also, the AR platform, it's built to be light. It's not built for high sustained rates of fire. So, I don't know. That's 50-50 on that one. Let's see. I'm not fully versed in the bump fire stocks. I thought they were a bunch of bullshit. I don't really buy into that stuff. All of the gunfights I've ever been in, I use semi-automatic. I wasn't a machine gunner at the time, and you have way more control with semi-automatic. You have more accurate shots. If you can keep your head about you and not go crazy with the trigger, it's a better platform. That's just my opinion. Okay, it took 72 minutes for people to get to the room. 72 minutes. You have an individual firing a machine gun for 72 minutes. And you just get to his door and figure it the fuck out. What the fuck? Okay, from what I was reading, he tampered with certain, alarm systems. He put up cameras. This is fucking Vegas. You can't even steal a $50 chip off a table. You fuck around and count cards, whatever. They're all over your shit. There's got to be cameras all over the place. This was a huge monumental failure of the security systems within that hotel. Now, here's another one I have. Where the fuck is all this brass? I've fired all kinds of shit. That brass, when it gets fired, it gets ejected for a reason. It's not like placed down. It is thrown out of the weapon. Sometimes it goes a good 5 to 10 yards depending upon how stiff your ejection extractor spring is. Okay, and after you burn through the first 100, 150 rounds, that brass is hot. It melts. It'll burn your skins. It'll set shit on fire. It'll melt into the carpeting, which I'm sure is made of some type of acrylic fiber. None of that's in the pictures. None. All right, that is odd, in my mind. I just find it very, maybe that's just a detail that sticks out to me, but I find it very odd. Okay, I bet if security had a thermal camera and they were scanning the buildings while the shooting was going on, they probably would have picked him up. Thermal's a bitch, and it's near impossible to hide from it. So if there was any blinking lights in the building, which there may or may not have been, it looked like a shooter to me, they wouldn't show up on the thermal as much. But the heat is a dead giveaway. It would show up like a neon light in thermal. They didn't have any thermal. He had $100,000 wired out of the country. What the fuck is that about? That is fucking highly bizarre. That's a lot of money to be wiring out of the fucking country. Okay, and here's another thing. People reported that, people at the front stage were warned about 45 minutes before the shooting starts. What does that tell me? Is it a coincidence, such as a whack job, telling people that? Or were there other people that may have, or who were supposed to show up and have other weapons and then chickened out? Because as bad as this whole thing is, with the amount of weapons he had up there in his hotel room, if he'd had 10 people show up and assist him, it would have been way fucking worse. That's just, me going on there with my tactical thinking. Okay, there's another dead giveaway. If all of the footage, all of the investigating notes, any of the bullshit that went on there isn't released to the public, because I can understand holding it back until the case is closed, but once the case is closed, it should be open unredacted to the public so they can unfuck the whole thing themselves. Now, if it's highly redacted or any of that bullshit, if they don't release it, there you go. That's your answer right there. Okay, there's no reason for this to be withheld from the population, period. Okay, this is a crime that took place within the United States. Now, if they redact shit, that tells me that there's, 30-pound brain motherfuckers, 2 or 3, 4 levels up, that don't want you to see the truth. Period. End of story. Okay. Finally, in this particular instance, this individual is over 60 years old. I don't even think he had a speeding ticket on his record. It's squeaky clean. He would not have been picked up in any of the investigations, period. The only thing that possibly would have caught up with him is he bought a lot of weapons in a short amount of time. Maybe that's a flag that they should look at in the future, that in a year period, if you're buying, 6, 10, 12, 20 fucking guns, maybe somebody should go, hey, what the fuck you doing with all this shit? That's just my opinion. All right, now, the second half of this video, somebody asked me on my opinion and how I would protect future concert goers from this type of bullshit. Well, number one, they needed to have the ability to shut the goddamn lights off immediately. It took them like 2 hours to be able to turn the fucking lights off. So you had well-lit targets in a confined space with perfect visibility. You could shoot at them all day long as long as you had light. Now, if you don't have solid cover, then what you need to fall back on is concealment. And how do you conceal, people from being shot in the open? You turn off the fucking lights immediately. Number one. All right, number two, I've seen this, they did this in Iraq because we took a lot of sniper fire into the prison where I was at, Abu Ghraib. You can put up a screen, all right, and it's, just enough that you can see through it from one side, but you can't see all the way through it, but it's there. And another thing they can do is put up the screen, and then once it gets dark, they shine lights from the backside onto the screen and illuminate it so it looks like just a white wall that you can't shoot through. Or you can shoot through it, but you don't know what you're shooting at. Okay? Because there's a reason, concealment works. You can only shoot what you can see. And if you're firing into concealed positions, you're basically relying on blind luck to hit targets, which in a professional sense, you know what you're doing. Don't gamble on luck, because that one time that you need it, it'll fail you and you'll fucking get fucking whacked. Alarms on the fucking windows. Okay, these windows were not supposed to be open. They're supposed to be able to withstand hurricane forces. Somebody smashing them with a fucking hammer. Perhaps there should have been a sensor there saying, what the fuck? Okay, but apparently whoever was watching the fucking screens or monitoring the alarm systems wasn't doing his fucking job. because apparently there were some fire alarms that were tampered with. I don't know about you, but when you fuck with a fire alarm, usually there's a light on a panel that lights up and someone goes, hey, we have a fire alarm down. We should send you up there to see what's going on. That never fucking happened. Okay, maybe there's some more details that they haven't released, but the whole thing sounds suspect to me. It's motherfucking Vegas. They have cameras everywhere. Bullshit. I don't believe it. All right. Let's see, where I talked about those. Okay, here's another easy one. Well, it's not easy, but we have a new technology out there. It's called drones. You have a big event going on outside. You can easily have some drones flying around with people watching in real time. So if they see any fishy shit like that, they can call it in immediately. Because, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Just saying. I know they can do it. The Army has it. And I know it's trickling down the civilian populace. Again, thermal fucking cameras. Thermal's a bitch. You can't hide from it. And if you can, it's very limited. Okay, there's another thing. I've seen this used in Iraq. It's a technology used to find active shooters or detect where a gunfire is coming from and what range it's at. It uses an acoustical sensor. I think it was called shooter proxy or proxy shooter or shot spot. You guys can look it up. It does exist, and it's been around for a little over a decade. So I know it can be acquired. It's bullshit. All right, here's another easy one right here. Before the fucking concert starts, you get up on the stage. You just give a safety briefing. You say where the fucking exits are. Point them out. It's just like when they're on an airplane. You have the two exits here, because there were people that were just standing there, getting down, and not moving. It's ridiculous because they probably didn't know, where to go, or they locked up, and nobody helped them out. They just sat in place and got fucking whacked, and that's heartbreaking. But I'm pretty sure he probably wouldn't have got 58 people if people would have been able to get out of the X. I call it the X. Anytime you're in an ambush, you get off the fucking X. That's your number one priority. Get off the X, and then make up another course of action. What you want to do, come back and help people, or spot the shooter, assist the police, or run out to your car and get your rifle and take care of business, because apparently it took 72 minutes for them to do their fucking job. Maybe that's harsh. I don't know. Okay, there's another one right here. Number 9. Again, security doing their fucking job. I know, this fucking Vegas. You fuck with sensors, you bust out a fucking window, you do some stupid ass shit like that. It should have been detected immediately by security, and they come up there and find out what the fuck is going on. Period. Alright? Period. They dropped the fucking ball, and they're gonna get their asses sued into the fucking Stone Age because of it, because they're pretty much totally fucking liable. Alright, here's another one that's a little extreme. We use this one in war fighting. Smoke generator, or smoke bomb, or whatever you're gonna do. Probably not good for civilian applications, but it is effective and it works really good. I've seen it. Okay, have some rapid response teams on standby, because guess what? You're in the real world now, and this is probably going to happen more often, because Western culture is deteriorating, and I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. Okay, counter sniper. Again, counter sniper with a decent rifle, like a 338, Lapua with a thermal sight on it, so you can have some overwatch. Some crazy motherfucker does some shit like that, you pick him up and you fucking neutralize his ass. Okay, here's another one. I know this is radical. Have your fucking concerts indoors. If it's indoors, you can fucking search everyone they come in. You can control them when they leave. You don't have to worry about somebody from 800 meters away firing into the meat that's just running around randomly in front of the stage. It is what it is. Or better yet, don't fucking go to these fucking big ass fucking concerts where all these people are fucking walking around. I can't do it. I can't even fucking stand it. You know, maybe I could walk by, put earplugs in, I could stay there for about 10 fucking minutes, then I freak out and I have to leave. I don't know, it's a combat thing. I don't know, the switches have been flipped and they can't be unswitched, but that's the way it works. Anyway, that's my take for today on the Vegas bullshit. I hope they do find some motives or what the fuck happened, what caused this guy to snap, and I hope they release all the information to the public. And again, if they don't, it speaks volumes to what's going on. Not going to tell you exactly what that is, but you guys can do the math and figure it out for yourselves. So you have a good evening.